Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
From the projects with the battle cry, we gon' rise above, we mortified on that genocide. We standing up, and now they terrified. They terrorize, we unify, and it's time to ride.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ blessed. Today we hitting the streets to see what do our people think and how they feel about the verdict that came down with the Breonna Taylor case. Alright, so it's cut from the streets, tune in. I'm here with Heavenly and Jasmine. Okay, we're trying to figure out how do our people feel about what's going on with the Breonna Taylor case. So, what happened with the Breonna Taylor case? Do you know?
I mean, as far as I know, she got shot while she was asleep by cops.
Right.
Yeah, they tried to blame her boyfriend for it, lied to her mom about it, had her body in the house for hours, and had the mom at the hospital, like all that terrible stuff that you don't want to go through, and, you know.
Exactly. So, let the people know how y'all feel about what happened. Was that right?
It wasn't. It was absolutely wrong.
Absolutely wrong. Like, nothing about it was right. Nothing about a lot of the stuff that's been going on like that is right. Like,
and nothing about them getting away with it is right. I remember listening to the interview with the mom, and it was heartbreaking. And me as a mother to just only put myself in her shoes, like, or to put myself in her shoes in Breonna's shoes, like that's she was one of us. Like, you know, that could have easily been somebody that I was friends with. I know girls just like her, so it's really sad, and it breaks my heart, like, to know that she had to go through that her family had to go through.
Thomasina, Sister Thomasina here. So what we're doing is, let me ask you, I know you heard about the Breonna Taylor situation. Can you tell our people, like, what was the verdict? What happened?
Well, what happened was one person was charged with shooting in another occupancy, and so, but you didn't get charged for killing a person.
Right.
But you get charged for missing them. That's crazy.
True.
How you get charged for missing something?
Right. So how does that make you feel? How does that, you know?
That makes me feel like there is never gonna be no justice in this, not the United States ever.
She said, Sister said, there's never gonna be no justice.
I don't think I don't think we'll ever get to that point. And I'm not speaking it as speaking negativity on it.
Right.
I'm speaking it as if, because it's just never gonna change.
Right, so
our victory is not here on this earth, period.
Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless him, officer. You running to my left, I have Carlos, right? So, Carlos, what we doing is we going around and we interviewing our people and asking them how do they feel about the verdict that came down with Breonna Taylor. Do you feel like this was rightfully done? You know what I'm saying, or was it wrong? So my first question is, have you heard the verdict about Breonna Taylor?
To be honest, I didn't hear the exact verdict. But I heard the guys were not charged with murder.
Right.
I'm not sure whether to blame the prosecution or just the system as a whole, but they should have been charged with something. But I'm the type of person, I believe in killing problems from the root, and the root of the problem was they had a no-knock warrant from what I read. Right. And that should be inexcusable to just be able to run in anyone's home. If you got reason to believe they there, you can wait for them to come out. But running in the homes, you never know who's in there, and you can shoot the wrong person, like what happened to Breonna Taylor.
Verdict, they charged not guilty, saying that, you know, this stuff is happening in our communities and they constantly getting away with it. Like, how does this make you feel? Like Ahmaud Arbery, you familiar with that brother, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying, jogging the neighborhood. How does this make you feel?
I think it doesn't anger me because I try not to let it anger me. Because I try not to be conditioned to let something like that anger me. But to be quite honest, it's very, it means something to me. It means a lot. And the riots, I understand. And Even if they don't want to believe so, it's got the attention. Even with sports, what the athletes did is getting attention, and all that's needed right now because, I mean, if this continues to happen, you're gonna see a lot of negative repercussions from, let's be honest, black people.
I'm here with my sister Quickly, right? We're discussing the Breonna Taylor case. You're familiar with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a few questions, right? So how does it make you feel with 2 cops not being charged at all and 1 cop only being charged with shooting bullets through the wall, nobody charged for her death? How does that make you feel?
That make me feel like it's just really unfair. It's really unfair because if it was a Caucasian young lady, they would definitely take her case to the max. But I feel like being that we're just these black folks, is really nothing that they try or step in to do. Like, but let it be a white young lady, they'll go to the extreme with it.
It's messed up.
Down bad.
Down bad. What you say?
They should really get charged.
They should get charged, right?
They should get charged.
Why?
Cause ain't no weak first. Y'all get the wrong house and let them kill some.
Right. So essentially that's what happened. So how does that make y'all feel about that situation?
If I was in that situation,
right? What you got? Let me show you something in the Bible.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Stick with me, y'all.
Whose possessors slay them.
So we are to possess. The so-called white man rule over us. They are the judges, they are the doctors, they're the lawyers, they're the police officers, they're the correctional officers. Right? They possess us. Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
He said they possess us, and when they slay us, they hold themselves not guilty. We've seen it with Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, and just recent Breonna Taylor. And it's been happening over and over and over again.
So why does this continue to happen to our people?
Because this system isn't set up for us.
I'm saying, I don't feel like
This is not for us. I mean,
we don't make nothing for ourselves. Like, we gotta,
we need our own community of stuff.
Yeah.
Or this is just gonna continue to happen.
Okay, that's true. Now, one of the things we've been trying to do as a people is protest and riot. Do y'all feel we're accomplishing anything with protesting and rioting?
I mean,
I feel like it has its place, but we definitely need way more than just that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some things, but I feel like really that's just another way of the government or the system just feeling like they're appeasing to us. Like they're changing little stuff, you know what I'm saying? Enough to make it feel like that we can calm down for a little while because they're changing, but nothing really ever changes.
But I would love to see justice. I would love to see people standing up. I would love to see silence become noise.
Because to be quite honest, these people who are becoming law enforcement, they have never been raised around or seen or had to live with or deal with or go to school with a quote-unquote nigga. So when they put on their uniform, everybody becomes a nigga to them. You know what I'm saying? And even if that's not the case, they're still very unfamiliar. These people who are killing, these white cops who are killing black people are very unfamiliar with black people. These are not the same these are not the same white people that would have grown up with black people and had lots of experience with black people. This is people who have never been around black people ever. So that's just something they go through, you know. And I mean, in a stressful situation, you know what I'm saying, being around a person you've never been around, it's almost like a language barrier there. Right. You know what I'm saying? They can't even understand this, you know.
No interviene cuando deben. Y uno va y se queja y en realidad no quieren pruebas, muchas pruebas supuestamente quieren pruebas cuando está allí la situación.
And can you just kind of sum up what he said as well?
He says that a lot of the times he feels that people aren't heard, and that you go to the police and you tell them, hey, you know, this happened, and they don't even look into the situation. They want proof before they even try to help our community.
Right.
It seems like we're just putting it back, and the protests for him, it's bringing more information to the communities.
So that's why I was asking, Do you think we've accomplished anything with marching and protesting as a people?
I do. I think you do too. I think we are. I think we need more. We need to protest more.
Protest more? Okay.
Maybe not as riots, but as going to the people and reaching those people that can do something about it.
Right. So you don't agree with the rioting and everything like that, but you do agree with the marching and the protesting?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think we're accomplishing anything by protesting and marching?
No, definitely not. Like us, we can all come as a group and we could all just be walking and speaking up and using our voices because we got freedom of speech. But at the end of the day, I feel like being black, being African American, I just don't understand. It's just not fair. Like they don't give us, I don't know, like it's hard to explain because I'm on the spot.
All right, so check this out. So one of the questions is like, why do you think this continue to happen to us? Do you think it's just because we're black?
Definitely, it's because we're black, and being that, some black folks, they honestly, sometimes they don't know how to act right, and I guess I don't know, they judge people off of, us being black, I don't know, and sometimes they got black folks that act right, they got black folks that do act right, and I just think they look at us as we just violent.
So my next question, like, what are we accomplishing marching and protesting and rioting? Like, what's the outcome for that? Like, what are we going to accomplish doing?
I would just think it shows numbers. It shows numbers as if to say, hey, a lot of people are concerned about this, and it shows faces.
My other question is, why does this continue to happen to us, black and brown people?
Because I think it starts from that we're, anywhere we go, I know y'all probably feel it, but I feel it too, is I see stares like we don't belong here.
Definitely.
And I think that we've been, all of us being African American and Hispanics, we're all seen as criminals in a lot of people's eyes. Even though we can be educated, we can be just walking down the street, but I think a lot of it comes from just discrimination.
If you had to choose a solution for our people, what would be your solution? What's the solution to this madness?
I don't know if I'm the one to come up with a solution, but I do just feel like, once we start coming together and creating our own communities, we'll be able to better protect ourselves.
Okay, you said coming together. What you say, Jazz?
I feel the same way. We need to buy land. We need to make our own communities. We need to be out here getting all of our people together. We need to learn how to harvest. We need to learn how to farm. We need to learn how to take care of our kids without the government's help. That's what we need.
Y'all sisters are on point. What you think would be the solution?
The solution to me would be just to continue to be yourself, continue to live your life, continue to be the best person that you can be, the best human being on this earth, and do your best. And then when anything arises in those type of situations, you gotta trust the Almighty God that He gonna bring you through.
Okay, I could agree with that.
We've been marching and protesting and doing this for years. We started protesting in 1917. You know what I'm saying? It was called a silent protest, and that started the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King and stuff, if you will. So that's over 100 years of protesting. What has changed since we've been protesting? Nothing. You said nothing.
Not too much been happening.
Not too much what happened.
It's just the police.
It's just the police. So what you think is the answer? What's the solution to our people? What would you tell our people? Like if you got a little brother, son, little brother, anything like that, or nephews, anything like that under y'all. Okay, yeah, all right. So what would you tell them is the solution to the problem? How can you stop it? I would be like, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. All right, you say that.
Everybody get up. Get together. Exactly.
You saying we all come together? Yeah. Okay, I like it. What you got? Hey, you on point. Black on black. You said we gotta stop killing each other. I agree with all of that.
Okay. Now let's get Zephaniah 2:1 because they both say the solution would be coming together, unifying, community, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
And that's the thing. We're a nation that's not desired because this is not happening to everybody. So, in order for us to gather together, because we can't ignore black on black crime. That's huge. We have to solve that. How do we solve that? By doing what God says. Hosea 5 and 15. That's how we're going to solve that issue once we come together. Hosea chapter 5 verse 15.
Read.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So essentially, we are the children of Israel. We're God's chosen people. So you ask, like, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? This scripture is going to tell you why this keep happening to us and our people. Read.
And seek my face.
So he said we got to return and acknowledge what we did wrong and seek the Lord. Read.
In their affliction.
In their affliction, because the Most High is afflicting us. You understand? Read.
They will seek me early.
He said in their affliction, they will seek me early. So by the Most High like fire to us and putting pressure on us, that's going to force us to return to him.
We also must seek God. We have to understand that we are the Israelites as a people, and we must return to the one true God. Read this.
Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
This is what God says. Because if you look at it, right, this isn't happening to every race of people. This is happening to black and brown people, if we're being honest about it, right? And God said, what did God say?
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So that's something that black and brown people did to God, which was we broke his commandments. Read on.
And seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So it's just like he's chastising us. We're being afflicted. Our enemies are dealing really harshly with us until we recognize God and do what he wants us to do. Right? So thank you for doing the interview. And we're going to share a little bit with you after, okay?
Okay. I hope everything goes well with you.
All right. Shalom.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
So that's what God says, because some of us as a people wonder, where is God? Why is he allowing this to happen? Well, he's chastising us as his children for not doing what he said to do. So he's standing back. Read on.
Until they acknowledge their offense and seek my face.
That's what we have to do. We have to say, okay, enough of the black on black crime. We're going to love each other as we love ourselves and do what God says and come together. Read.
And their affliction, they will seek me early.
So in us, God putting that pressure on us being murdered, us being in the ghettos and stuff like that, now we're going to look for God and we're going to do what he says. That's the solution.
Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack, and judgment do it never go forward.
The law is slack, meaning when they do, bro, let you would have broke into a white man's house.
Oh, it would have went down.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You would have got the death penalty.
Right.
Therefore, the law is slack, and judgment do it never go forward. For the wicked do it compass about the righteous.
So judgment 4. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 4. Therefore, the law is slack.
So this judicial system of America is slack. These laws are not for us, right? Come on.
And judgment do never go forth.
Judgment does not. Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, and probably somebody as we speak, right? And these cops continue to get off over and over and over, scot-free. Finish that.
For the wicked do compass about the righteous.
And that's the thing. There's a separation of people. I know we like to say one race, right? But are we being treated as that? There's a wicked and there's a righteous.
Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessor slay them.
Whose possessor? Because we know that we still in slavery. You know what I'm saying? We know we still in slavery this day. They are possessors. They brought us over here. We still got to pay taxes to them, etc. You know what I'm saying?
And hold themselves not guilty.
All right, give me Habakkuk 1:4. Who's who possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Did not the sister just get slayed in her own home and was not held guilty?
Now watch, I'm gonna show you what you're saying in the Bible. Read that.
This is Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5. Whose possessors slay them.
They say whose possessors slay them, right? Because you look at us in Breonna Taylor, the possessors, they possess us, right? Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And they hold themselves not guilty. And that was the verdict with the sister. No one was charged in the death of Breonna Taylor. That's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them.
So remember, we were brought to this country as slaves, right? And when Christopher Columbus came over here, some of y'all guys were sent to Spain, Portugal, stuff like that, right? So we all were possessions at one point. We were possessed by so-called Caucasian people, right? Read on.
Whose possessors slay them.
And those same people, they kill us, like the police. They shoot us down, right? Read.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And we see that time and time again, right? We see that with Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and the situation you told us about. That's one of the fortunate, right? That they actually were held accountable. But on a grand scale, these people are not they're not being held accountable.
Hey, shalom, Most High Christ blessed. So once again, Officer Iran to my left.
Officer Malachi. Officer Hakeem.
So what we did, we just hit the streets and we asked our people, how do you feel about the Breonna Taylor verdict? What's the solution? Is protest, marching, rioting, is that going to help? And for the most part, a lot of our people say, what they say?
We have a couple people, they say that the protests are effective. Some people say not really. You know, a lot of our people say we need to come together, right? Some of our people say there was racism. At the end of the day, there's a lack of God's laws. Our people need the truth. They need God's laws.
Right. And anything you want to chime in?
Nah, that was it. All praise to the Most High. Y'all said everything. We hit the streets. We interviewed them, asked their opinions, to see what they had to say. We gave them some flyers. All praise to the Most High. That was it. Another successful cut to the streets.
Your point of view, we the real Jews. Calling Shem's children anti-pity, you fool.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.